Slot A podcast, episode 1, 2, but one really. Where we talk about games, news, and all games and games. Yeah, stuff for the games and board games, but not really though. just
Sometimes,
video
maybe.
games.
Will there be? Will there be? Only time will tell. Am I right?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I like a good board game.
I-
I don't care what you guys say.
I like a good board
You
game.
mean like
once
Monopoly?
a year,
I
perhaps.
like a good TCG.
Except for that board game.
No, you know what? I actually love Monopoly, and Christina hates playing Monopoly because I make some like bomb ass trades on her that are always bad for her, but somehow I present them as good for her in the beginning. So
Oh well, yeah, you can
It's a great
love
game.
playing Monopoly,
great game.
but hate the friendships that you end because of Monopoly. But I digress.
Word. So anyway, getting off the board game topic, even though it's a great one. I'm Chris. Episode 1. So I guess small intro. I'm Chris. I like to play a lot of RPGs. Bethesda mainly, even though they're in the shit box right now. And yeah, some random sports games. I'm low key a 2K fanatic, but don't tell
All right, who's next?
I'm Mark K. I'm a recent PC gaming convert. I made the exodus from console, and now I'm living the high life. And I rarely finish any of the games that I start.
You're living the high PC game life with with Fortnite and
yes.
Fortnite and
Fortnite.
I have a Fortnite console, guys.
Pretty
Nice.
much an epic Fortnite console that plays over 60 frames per second, and that's the only game it's for, isn't it?
Damn.
Don't worry,
No.
I'm sure you'll
And
know it out
a
soon.
YouTube app on
Way
it.
to call him out like that. It's fucked up.
Oh, sorry, sir.
On the
Just-
well, the rest of the rest of our listeners are gonna have to get used to the snark coming from Rob, I think.
Hey, I'm not snarky all the time. I'm only snarky about 25% of the time. It really depends on the day and the mood that I'm in.
That's quite a lot.
Well,
That's like
it depends
that's
on
a
who you
fourth of the time.
Yeah.
But it's
Like
spread
every
out.
four things I say to you is going to be a snarky, sarcastic ass comment. That's,
Well, it doesn't have
that's
to
a bit
be
much.
fixed. It's spread throughout the entire 12-hour day, okay? So it's not as bad. And
But
yes,
on
in case
average-
anyone's wondering, yes, my name is Rob. Yes.
Snarky 3 hours out of the day.
Yeah, but not. It doesn't have to be a concentrated 3 hours. But yeah, my name's Rob. I tend to focus more on the JRPG and I would even put in visual novel side of things. And when I say that, I don't mean your DDLC and your Final Fantasies. I mean your Move-Love alternatives and your Trails of Cold Steel, which probably no one's ever played. But I'm niche like that. But I digress. Continue onward, sir. Oh, and I'm the guy with the bell, but Chris also has a bell of his own, so he's riffing off of it.
There we go. All right, I'm Mark
Got
with
it.
a C. That's how we're going to distinguish each other. Mark with a K and Mark with a C.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
that's right.
hope-
Yeah.
We have
I'll let you know after the naming convention.
yes, we need to
Yeah,
host one of those.
Until we come up with
Naming
something that's
convention
better
in
than
town,
this,
everyone.
we're going to have to stick with the 4-syllable Mark with
That's
a C.
fine. I'm okay with
Mark
that.
with a K, Mark with a C. Hey, it'll roll off the tongue eventually.
Yeah, I like to play a whole bunch of stuff. I really like JRPGs, probably not to the extent to which Rob likes JRPGs, but I'd say like maybe just a tier beneath that. And then I also play competitive games. I've been getting into like roguelike indie games on the Switch too.
Nice.
I'm still
a
yet to
wonderful-
download
Oh.
Dead Cells.
Well, boys,
well, also-
welcome to the show.
Well, I've got
yeah.
if we're gonna get into the show, I
So,
got a segue for you guys?
Let's
Because
do
I
it.
also really like Blizzard games. And so-
Are you saying we're taking a stroll down to Newsville real quick?
Yeah, yeah, I think
Scroll
so.
down to Newsville. Ba-ba.
That's our first slot.
Yeah. So over the weekend of my birthday. it
Happy
was-
birthday.
Happy birthday,
Thanks.
sir.
I'm a quarter century old now.
Damn.
Oh,
That's
So
equal to
this-
the
this
amount
past
of time
weekend
that Rob is snarky.
yeah.
damn it.
If you live to be 100, Rob, 25
Apologies.
years of life would be
Right.
spent. It's
Can-
snark.
Continue though.
Yeah, so BlizzCon happened last weekend. I'm gonna kind of rapid fire through some of the announcements that happened because there's really one big thing that came out of it. The rest of it is all kind of standard BlizzCon stuff to be expected, like New
Oh yeah,
Overwatch
Ash, obviously.
character. Yeah, I mean that's like kind of the thing you can count on every year, at least since Overwatch came out. This year was really cool because Ash looks awesome. I can't wait to play her, but I can't yet because I don't have a PC, so I can't use the PTR. But I think at least one of us has tried her out, right?
I have
Yeah,
indeed.
Mark, you have, right? Mark with a K.
I played a little bit of Ash.
What'd you think?
She's I think she's a better Widowmaker. She's very similar. She's got the mobility that Widowmaker has. She also has like a throwable. She's got
Yes,
like
the
a
dynamite
like
because
like
she's
a
TNT.
Molotov sort of thing. It does like damage over time.
I like that you
Uh,
can shoot it and detonate it whenever you want. You don't
I'm
have to
not
wait
good
for it
enough
to
Apparently,
to
the
do
explode.
that,
damage
but
increases if you're able to shoot it. That's a thing? Is that a thing?
I'm gonna just say yeah, but
Okay.
because I'm not good enough to do that. But she's really cool. I haven't gotten a lot of time to play her in like a team comp situation because you know how it is when a new
Everyone's gonna
hero comes
pick the
out.
new hero
Yeah.
with the
So I've
PTR,
really just been playing no limits on the PTR, and that's where
and
I've gotten
everyone is Ash.
Nice.
my time in 6v6 Ash mode, and she's really fun. I'm looking forward to actually trying her out more. I'm getting back into Overwatch, so this is a good way to start.
Yeah, it's
Nice.
I mean,
awesome.
I'll join
Good
you.
design
I
too.
do. I love her design. Like she's like Witch Mercy, but around the clock because of that hat and like kick
Yeah.
assery.
She's got a lot of
kick ass
attitude.
character design.
Oh,
I like
She's
it.
got two
she's got
for
attitude,
days.
all right.
Yeah, so there's
Bob,
that.
do something.
Uh,
Oh, and she's got Bob. Yeah, Bob's
Yeah,
best
me.
best new
Oh wait,
character
not me.
2018.
Not quite me.
her
You
that's
can
her
be, you can be
ultimate,
Bob.
and from what it seems so far, everyone thinks he's overpowered. But you know,
Oh,
who
is that a
what
thing? I
what new
mean, just
character isn't
Yeah,
overpowered?
exactly.
every new character is overpowered. That's how it always goes in the Overwatch meta until something happens to it. Rip Mercy. I cry in my sleep.
Also, WoW Classic has a release, not release
Window.
date, but release window. Yeah, next summer 19.
You guys are
Okay.
stoked for that, aren't you? You guys have
Yeah,
talked
I-
about that quite a
I'm a
bit,
big
actually.
WoW Vanilla fan, so I am hyped to be 14 years old again. Even
as,
younger.
as
Like,
as someone who never had a powerful enough computer to play that back in the day, I'm really looking forward to it as a 25-year-old. So
Is it like completely redone? I haven't
bring
seen
it on, Blizz.
no, it's completely the exact same it was when it launched in like 2005.
Oh.
You
Yeah.
can say it's been completely de-done.
Yeah,
Okay, that's
yeah, I
terrible.
mean,
My
Oh,
bad.
basically.
right. You put the bell down.
That's
Settle
one
down
bell
now.
already. I don't count. I
I'll
don't
see
count
myself out.
the intro. Yeah.
Go ahead, Mark C. Mark with a C.
Yeah. This is like for me mainly a nostalgia thing because this was like the first MMO I ever played. I was really young and I loved it and I played so much of it. And I'm just excited to relive some of that stuff. But one of the things that is coming out of because there's like a demo up, I believe, for attendees and people who bought like the virtual pass to BlizzCon, you could play a demo of this. That some of the modern what's a good way to put this? Not efficiencies.
Mechanics.
Conveniences?
Yeah, conveniences. That was the word I was thinking of. Modern conveniences of games that you would expect are like not going to be in this, right?
Mhm.
There's just like a bunch of like kind of old, outdated systems in there because it was made so long ago, but they didn't patch that stuff up. It's going to be like exactly how it was. So I don't know. It's gonna be cool, but we may look back on it and be like, "How the fuck did we ever enjoy this so much?"
I mean, you might be looking through it through nostalgia tinted, rose tinted glasses, Everything
Absolutely.
looked so cool when you were a kid, but you look at it when you play it now and you're like, how the hell did we deal with this?
Exactly.
Like flip
Exactly.
phones.
Yes. I'm gonna piggyback off of that because I was just thinking about a game that I played as a kid that was like gonna get an unofficial remake, but like it actually didn't get an unofficial remake because it was shut down. So Knights of the Old Republic, Star Wars from like the original Xbox. Have you any of you guys played that game?
I
I'm
No.
never
bad,
even
I
had an
haven't.
Xbox.
Oh my god. So it's if you've seen video of it, it's like a Star Wars game from the original Xbox. It's one of the like most beloved Star Wars games that's ever come out.
Oh, okay.
And it's a turn-based RPG and I played it when I was I don't know, probably 10. and I thought it was the coolest game I ever played. Um, the turn-based I didn't care about then, but I've played it recently, and it's one of those games that also doesn't really age well in terms of the fight. Like the combat is not nearly as fun as I remember it being.
Mhm.
But anyway, Knights of the Old Republic was getting a mod, but I guess it was like an unofficial remake by this studio called Ghost Studios. And it was just shut down. I'm really
Ah,
upset about it.
that's a shame.
Oof.
They'd been working on it for a long time. It was called Apiron, Knights of the Old Republic Apiron, which is like, it was just the remake of the game, and it looked fucking gorgeous. They have videos of it online. It's like completely redone, and then they got like a cease and desist letter from Lucasfilm or LucasArts or whatever.
Yeah,
and they're
that-
like,
The
"Nah."
Iron Fist of Disney.
Probably just
How the
just Disney.
No, it
Yeah,
was
Fun
it
Project
was
died.
it wasn't. It was from like directly from Lucas, whatever. I don't know. Lucasfilm,
Georgie?
Maybe. Yeah. Good old
Directly
George.
from George Lucas, so he penned it himself. He's like, "You can't do this."
He signed
Yeah.
the cease and desist.
Yeah, I feel bad for those dudes though, because the team that was making it, Ghost Studios, was doing a kick-ass job. It looked so good. But another plug for them, they have a game called The Missing that's going to be coming out soon. So,
Nice.
check them out. They're
Mhm.
awesome.
I hope it
And,
succeeds.
Good to hear that they didn't vanish into the mist.
Yeah,
Cool.
they're essentially just like, all right, well, I guess we're just going to work on this other thing we've been doing. So
Well, there they go. They've got that going for them.
yeah,
But,
but alas, doesn't age as well as you might have thought it did.
Yeah, another old game coming out of BlizzCon is a remaster or like a full remake of Warcraft 3. I don't know if you guys played this back in the day or currently, because I think it still gets updated, which is crazy. But old school RTS. I played it a little bit when I was younger, and I really liked it. But it looks cool. They showed a little trailer, and it's got like completely redone visuals, and I'm probably gonna buy it.
Nice.
Yeah.
I've never played it, the earlier one.
Yeah, I think it's
It-
worth a shot, especially if it's like coming out on a whole bunch of platforms. It would be cool if it was on Switch.
Is that
Mhm.
what
Of course.
was that the predecessor to World of Warcraft?
Yes.
Copy
Nice.
that.
It came
that was-
before the world.
I don't really know my my World of Warcraft
Lingo.
Timeline.
you know,
Yeah,
timeline.
if I
so-
recall, I mean, I'm not the bit like I don't know everything, but I think it went up to Warcraft 3, had some expansions, and then World of Warcraft came after that. So it's like the real like thing right before World of Warcraft.
Nice.
Nice.
And then we have that other thing that happened. I guess it's
Yeah.
post BlizzCon, or
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know.
kind of during or like pre, during, and post. I guess actually, it's kind of all
All
surrounding it.
phases of BlizzCon.
Be-
It just shadowed it.
There was an announcement. I guess there was like some announcement that an announcement of an announcement that at BlizzCon they would reveal a new Diablo game. So everyone, or I guess some amount of people, were like, Diablo 4, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
And so they waited until the big reveal during the keynote of BlizzCon when it started off on Friday, and they were like, new Diablo game, Diablo Immortal, for mobile phones, made by not Blizzard but a studio in China that makes Diablo-like games already.
Oh my
And
god.
so
Interesting.
it was just like escalating, people being not happy, and it ended up being kind of a big PR kind of disaster for
And
them.
their stocks went crazy.
Yeah, apparently. Enough so that we somehow squeezed a Diablo 4 announcement out of them after all, which is
Yeah.
a little crazy. So
Interesting.
apparently it's coming. Not like anyone really doubted that it would eventually come, but now I think it's officially,
Officially official.
sanctioned. Yeah, that it's happening.
Yeah.
You know what
just
this
like a
whole
weird
snafu?
That's-
I'm sorry. Who'd I cut off? I think I cut someone off.
Oh, you're good. Go ahead.
Sorry. No, but I mean, you know what this whole snafu reminds me of? It reminds me of like Microsoft's E3 when like they were announcing God of War, and then they announced like
I think
that.
you mean Gears of War, and
Gears
you're
of
gonna
War.
go with the Funko
definitely
Gears of War.
not
I was
God of
thinking
War.
the same exact thing, so I'm glad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
except
the wrong
that
way to do it.
except that one they actually announced the next Gears of War. This one
Yeah,
they didn't.
True.
But I
Until
mean,
they did.
they didn't until they did, and then they were
Until they
denied
did.
that they did. It was really
Yeah.
strange. It's really
It's
strange.
wild.
I don't really understand what they were going for, but I kind of understand what they were going for because their stocks dropped 5% in like less than a day, and everyone was
Pretty
like,
scary.
"Oh fuck!" So they just whip up some Diablo 4 teaser, throw it out there, be like, "Oh no, we didn't do that. No, no,
Okay,
that
you were
wasn't
It's just
right.
it.
like
It is
it's
coming.
scrambling.
I don't know
just
what
like,
you're talking about, but it might be there." Yeah, I don't know, man.
And
fucking-
then
oh man.
then I think the last thing that came out of BlizzCon, there's a new Hearthstone expansion.
Oh right, I
with
forgot.
with a new set of cards and a new key term, overkill.
I'm all about this.
I haven't been playing Hearthstone in a minute, but it's exciting every time a new expansion comes out, even though I'll never play it. But
Oh, I always
it's nice.
Who
come
are you
back.
kidding? You'll play it. You won't. Yeah, you
Yeah,
Or
will.
you
I'll
just
come back
toss it
for-
to
You're
the
right,
rest
I
of
won't.
the rest of your backlog.
Hey,
think-
listen, that save it for the backlog cast, all right?
I know. We'll get there eventually. We'll get there eventually. Just like our actual backlogs, we'll get there eventually.
So
I
that's I think that was it for BlizzCon.
I guess like perching off of that though, talking about how they announced like they were like, oh yeah, a new Diablo game, and then they don't announce Diablo 4. They just announce some fucking spin-off. That's kind of how I felt like with Fallout 76, which is up in the news
Yeah, exactly.
recently.
Wait, what's this?
Ah.
What's this? What?
What's this game?
Like,
Fallout 76.
are you being serious or you're not being serious? Because I will explain it to you, but
No,
Explain all of the things.
Give a brief synopsis of it.
Okay, so Fallout 76 is Bethesda Game Studios' next big game. I've been following along with like a bunch of different YouTube channels about leaks before they even announced that there was a game coming out, and everyone was so pumped because there was a leak that the next game would make us quote unquote fall out of our seats. So everyone kind of jumped to the conclusion it was a
Whoa.
Fallout game and started to freak out. Everyone was so pumped about it. And then they of course do that fuckery of just putting Vault Boy in front of a live stream for 24 hours.
I love
It was
watched
oh my
that.
god.
The
I
ultimate
watched so
troll.
many
Did you-
hours. So
of
many
that
hours.
of that single frame.
Well,
No,
'cause they
dude,
would like put the camera out of focus sometimes, and then sometimes there'd be like a
Oh,
hand.
they
that
they
goes
were
in the
really
frame.
playing with you.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
no, dude,
Hilarious.
they put him to sleep at night after the first. They literally tucked him into covers, and they would just like throw fucking confetti and balloons everywhere.
Oh my god, that's a
yeah.
little much for toying with their viewer base, but hey.
No, but see, like they got us so pumped for a new Fallout game, and I was hoping for Elder Scrolls 6, but I didn't think it was coming out. I thought there was this game called Starfield coming out, but anyway, so they announced Fallout 76, and everyone's like, interesting, because the trailer, of course, featured John Denver's Country Roads.
Take me home.
The
Take me
trailer-
home.
Country, yeah. I don't want to get copyright.
We don't
strikes.
need copyright strike.
So
Sorry.
the trailer was great, but there was a lot sprinkled within it to suggest it was a multiplayer game. And sure enough, we found out it was a multiplayer. So the beta's been going on the last about the last week or so, and the reviews are not good because I mean it's a beta review, but essentially you're either kind of saying, yeah, no, like this is okay, it might be good, I don't know, or you're on the
It's
fence of
straight out broken.
this fucking sucks, like don't buy it, this is a disgrace to video games. And I don't know, man, I don't know how I feel about all this.
I
they
mean,
tried-
a lot of it is. Go ahead.
No, it's fine, go ahead.
I was gonna say a lot of that is just baggage from the fact that it's trying to be, always online multiplayer. I mean, a lot of it seems to stem from the fact that you can easily, or at least for those that are playing the PC game, people can easily go into the into the game files and do things that basically break the game's mechanics.
Yeah, but you
Expand
can't.
the FOV, break the frame rate, which causes your game physics to go way faster than it's supposed to be, etc. Go for it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not excited. They just
well-
put a patch out. And and the patch is trying to fix some of those problems. The patch is like different balance changes. They put like stability, like a big patch for the stability and for it to perform better, which was needed. But it still had a day of beta after that happened, and I still think it was feeling pretty wonky.
So I got a question about this
Yeah.
because I think one thing that's safe to say about Bethesda games, like Bethesda Game Studios games, is that they
Uh-huh.
have a lovable amount of jankiness to them. But this sounds like
Yes.
it might be more than that.
Overly
much.
janky.
Too
The
much
pro-
jank. Too
what
much
they-
jank to love.
Yeah, too much jank, and like they took literally everything out of a Fallout game that people who loved Fallout enjoy about that game. Like, for example, there are no NPCs. Every person you meet is dead or a real person in real life. And like, I don't want to be just like running through the wasteland trying to get engaged in a game, and then I see someone running by like Bigfoot's Dong 63 and like have to just completely break immersion because there's a guy named Bigfoot's Dong shooting at me from across the map, and then just doing like a thumbs up emote and then walking away. I don't know, like it's they took out all the good stuff like the NPCs, and they took out like all the storytelling and any of the choice that you had out of the game, and just like stripped it down so that they could put this multiplayer aspect into it. And everyone's saying the world feels so dead.
So what you're saying is they took all the charm out of the game of
They
what made
did.
what made it,
Yes, and
what it
everyone's
is.
everyone's complaining about the same things they always complain about Bethesda games, but like they can only complain about those because everything else that was fun about them is gone. So
How do
Like it's now it's all
mods
negatives
work?
instead of some negatives, some positives. Now it's just all negatives.
yeah,
positives.
How do the mods work when
they don't.
always
They
online?
don't. They don't. They're not coming out until they said at the earliest November 2020 or November 2019.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
That's
Yeah.
a lot
huge
of time
bummer.
to wait.
Holy
A
shit.
year of a Bethesda game with no mods.
That's
Mm.
It sounds like a
yeah.
like a
I don't
potential
know.
pass.
Yeah.
You
So
know,
it's
I mean, to be fair, it's not. So, like, my mentality on this is that it's not trying to book itself as being the next Fallout, title because it doesn't have like a formal number next to it, like Fallout 4. You know what I
I mean
mean?
76
But
is a number.
it's a number. It's a number. It's certainly a number. You're not wrong there. But I mean, like, to me, it just seems like they're treating it as like one of their offshoots where they're trying to experiment and try something new to see if the fan base is going to like it. And initial impressions seem to show that they're probably not. But I guess their intention was to test the waters in the first place. It just
Yeah.
seems a shame that they seem to be out of touch with what the player base sort of wants.
Yeah, I mean, I like to bother Pete Hines, who's like the president of like relations or whatever. I like to bother him on Twitter all the time, and he's gotten really defensive over this game. And when anyone ever says anything to him about like, oh, Bethesda should have stuck to the single player RPGs, he's always just like, well, they've been doing that forever, so they've kind of earned the right to like experiment and do something different, which is
fair.
true, but.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody has ever said, I want a Fallout survival, like a Fallout Rust fucking love hate child. No one's ever been like, that's what I want. I want that kind of a game. No, everyone's always said, I want a genuine Fallout game that I can play co-op with my friend. And they should have, like, instead of taking this whole like massive, like everyone's playing online together, they should have taken the co-op step first and then jumped onto like a bunch of people in a party playing together, because you're
Right.
deviating too
Agree.
quick from the
How populated would like a server generally be? Like, how many players in the world?
I believe the number they've stopped on is 24, and the map is 4 times the size of Fallout.
Yeah, that's not enough.
That
That's not
that
enough people.
sounds like
No,
you're
not-
really
not
not
in the
going to run
slightest.
into anybody.
And that's
ever.
kind of like their point, is they like they don't want it to be you're running into someone at all the time, but then you need to put some other kind of storytelling device in the game that's not a fucking holotape or a robot. So
Agree.
that's that. But we'll see what happens. It comes out next week. And
But you would think they would leave a little more time between the beta and release, right? For iteration and whatnot.
yeah, you know what? It's the first time they've
Yeah.
done something like this. I'm not going to shit on them too, but it could have been handled better. And it's fine.
Yeah,
we'll just
that's
have to
not
wait
Um,
and see.
a
It's
pile.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on.
When does that come out? Couple weeks
Next week. It's
next week.
Yeah, next week.
Alright. Well, that should be interesting. Report back if you end up buying it.
I'm gonna wait on the reviews and see what's up.
see
I'm
what
gonna
everyone
see.
else has to say. See if it can actually, if the infrastructure will hold. I think that'll be a good indicator right off the bat if the infrastructure holds up. But I
Yeah,
digress.
yeah.
But anyway, last piece of news we have: Fortnite Cube exploded. Little
Oh,
big
yes, it
big
did.
Kevin.
Oh,
I
Kevin. Sorry.
I I wasn't there to experience it, but
I was.
Rob,
Oh yeah.
would you like to report back from the Matrix?
Go ahead,
Well,
bro.
honestly, I don't even know if it was even the freaking Matrix. I I went into the game. I saw the I saw the cube explode, and
There
then
were
it simply
butterflies.
whisked us. Well, yeah, that was it. Sent us to a white dimension with a whole bunch of interconnected tubes, and there was a blue butterfly in there. Those
Simulation
all
finding,
sound
bro.
really odd, but yes, that all happened in some sort of a cutscene. So that was certainly a thing. I have no idea what to make of it, to be completely honest.
It was
Hell,
a
I
huge
wasn't expecting a
tease.
cutscene.
It was a huge
Say again? A
tease.
huge tease?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I
The whole
I
time I'm
I
in the party with 3 dudes, and we're just like, "Oh fuck, is it a new map? Are we going to a new map? Are we going to a new map?" And then no, we're just dropped in the middle
no,
of the lake again. Except it's not a lake now; it's Stonehenge. So like, all right,
yeah.
fine.
So the
But
payoff wasn't worth it, or was the payoff not
Or
what we
yet.
expected?
what do you think? Mark with a K has some feelings on this.
Oh
I
shoot,
think
Mark,
you
do it.
like it, right?
The
The
event
new
exclusive stuff?
like
Or-
what the lake turned into.
Right. So my whole thing with the new lake now, it's the best, in my opinion, it's the best the lake has ever been, because now you can actually, go
Do
into the
stuff.
lake
Yeah.
and walk around in the lake. There's a lot of chest spawns in the new lake too, which makes
Mhm.
it even better to land at.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's the best the lake has ever been.
I
But
mean, basically, at least you're not going there and like hopping in the water for 80% of the time that you're there. Or if
yeah,
the
so
circle ends up being there, you're just in the water the whole time. So
yeah,
at least you
so
got something to work
so
with.
they I think it was a good step. But what I think has been lost in all of this is that hatch in Wailing Woods, I think, is still just a hatch in Wailing Woods, and nothing's
Oh my
come of
god.
it yet.
Oh my god.
The
That
biggest
hatch,
mystery of
that's
that
got to
map.
be like the biggest red herring for this entire game. That thing's been there for a couple of seasons now. It's not done anything.
I really hope that hatch, like there is some way programmed into the game that you can get open and like get into it, but just no one's figured it out. I hope
But
it's
hey,
one of
wait,
those things.
like if that interdimension thing that we jumped into, it kind of looked like the island, but it was made out of a bunch of interconnected tubes. What if
Mhm.
everything ends up getting like an interconnected network of like underground
Oh, like subway
tunnels?
tunnels? I'd be so about that. I would
That'd
love
be
that.
really sick,
Yeah,
actually.
how about, instead of creating a new map, creating an underlayer to
Undermap.
the
Oh no,
current
the
map?
upside down.
An
You guys ever
undermap.
see
One.
An undermap. I like
Stranger
that.
Things? But do the upside down.
Mhm.
Copyright.
Oh, listen. I'm sure they'd love to have some branded partnership. I'm pretty sure
Well,
every major thing wants to have a Fortnite sponsorship.
I mean, the
nowadays.
NFL just got
the
one.
NFL
That's
has it with
that's what I
those.
mean.
Those skins
Yep.
come out tomorrow. That should be interesting.
I think it's pretty cool.
I
like
agree
that.
with that.
I'm with
agree
it.
that. But
Yeah.
Then you all play football in the middle of that football field. There are challenges for that, just like the
Yeah.
challenge for that like cube thing.
I'm sure
There
there
was a
are.
challenge for cube thing,
Play
wasn't
some
there? Like
sports
some sort
ball.
of back.
Yeah,
Yep.
so
Backbling?
from what I understand is that there's an event exclusive set of challenges that you unlocked by being there to watch the event.
Oh, I'm mad. I was there and I
Well,
didn't know
Not
that. Fuck.
necessarily. Not necessarily, because I wasn't there for the event. However, I did do the challenges, so you didn't have to be on for it.
Oh,
Because
damn it.
I don't think I've seen them in my challenge queue.
Because
So
it was
Sure.
only for the weekend, or
That
they
was
ended on,
that expired.
it ended on
That was
Monday the 5th. It was
So-
only on for like 2 days, and I was lucky because I just like saw on Twitter that it was happening, so I just turned my Switch on and like idled for 15 games and then got it. But
It'd be nice if the game
You did it
mentioned
the
that
best
was
one.
like.
because all you had to
But-
do was play 15 games, collect a certain amount of experience and do a third easy thing. And that was it. You just had to basically like play the game for, 2 hours or something.
And now you have
and
like
get it.
back Kevin.
Yep, I got a little baby
Little
Little
Kevin
Kev.
back.
Nice little Kev.
Little
But
K.
that-
Little K.
Yeah, I think that's what
Kevin
his
Little.
actual
Little.
but that
That's
swings right into the next thing I wanted to talk about was those event exclusive items, and how you guys feel about them.
I wish this was an event exclusive item, to be honest. I think it's a good thing for the game. They should have event exclusive items. They should stop the like money hungriness of no, everyone needs the ability to get these skins, because there are some people that, really really want that and really want to stand out and be like, "Yeah, I got that." And there's pretty much no skin that, well, a couple of skins that you can do that with at this point.
Like I think we've gotten to the point so far where Epic has made so much money
Mhm.
off of everyone,
Mhm.
where maybe it's time to start rewarding people who play the game a lot, a lot more frequently than others, so
Yeah.
that you can tell who really spends a lot of time and who doesn't.
Mhm.
But
Yeah,
Epic could stand to make even more money if they sell those skins, which is probably half the reason why
But
they do that, right?
but you got to think about it. The NFL has partnered with Fortnite to bring you Fortnite NFL uniform skins. So the NFL has to pay for that more than
True.
likely. So it's not like they're not getting money from you know from outside sources at this point
Nope.
too.
You're not wrong. I'm just saying they could make even more money. Yeah, but no, I hear where you're coming from. I do agree that they make enough that they could stand to keep some things to be exclusive to give people that have been playing this game, you know, make them stand out, point out that they were there.
yeah. Well, I got a question about this
Sure.
because the version of that I guess exists right now is it's basically like that does exist, but on not such a like high level because the battle pass stuff is exclusive to a season. And like me, right, I didn't buy the battle pass until season 5 or something, or season 4. And so I didn't get the John Wick, but I always see people with the John Wick. I'm like, shit, I want that. But I'll never be able to get it, right? Because that's
Right.
exclusive to that battle pass. Like, does that count? Or are we saying like, do we want only a really, really small portion of people to be able to get some kind of reward for something that like really like rewards their time that they spend?
Well, I would say something more towards the latter of what you're talking about, because really the thing about the battle pass ones, though, those are often seen as not really, you know, exclusive, if you will, since it's they're easy to
Everyone
come
has
by. They-
access to them.
yeah, so the
No, that's not true though. Everyone
Well,
does. If you
well,
weren't playing at that point, you don't. But
right.
I see what you're saying. You had
But
to.
yeah, at the time.
the stigma around them is that it's not something that dropped into the store for 20 minutes and then it got taken out and now that's exclusive, or it's not like the little Kevin back bling or something
like
where
timed like
yeah,
specifically timed.
timed it. Like, even though battle pass skins are
They're timed,
time exclusive, most people wouldn't consider them to be event exclusive, because I mean you have like 3 months to get them.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, well, how
But-
about this? Like, are you saying something that's more similar to, like, let's say maybe in like Destiny 1, some super rare drop with like a god roll on it, right? Like that you get only from the last boss of a raid. Like, are you saying like something equivalent to that, where like you see someone in the tower or whatever with that gun, you're like, God damn, that dude is like, worked his ass off for that thing. Like,
Yeah,
is that
I
the thing
think
you're
that's
talking about?
yeah, I think that's something that would that could really do well for to at least up the morale of the people who play the game, because right now it's a very toxic atmosphere if you've ever ventured onto the subreddit, and it's something I don't ever
Recommend.
recommend.
I don't want to
anyone
punish
do.
myself with that.
Yeah. I can kind of feel why though, to be honest, because I know Mark, you've been playing a bit recently. But every time I try to jump back on, I guess it's just because I've been so busy playing Red Dead and like fucking 2K that I'm not used to the game anymore. But like on top of that, they've made so many changes recently that I thought I would be for, but I'm not really for anymore. Or maybe it's just I'm not used to them. Like people jumping off of like people being able to build off and automatically use their glider. I thought was a great idea. And last time we talked on the podcast, I was like, yeah, this is great. But now every time I jump into a game, I'm just getting like every time I build anything, I'm just getting immediately dropped down on by someone in a glider
Someone
and then
else that built
immediately shot.
higher.
Yeah, or like even if I build super high and no one's building but like there's a mountain really far away and they like jumped off
Right.
of that and then use their glider to get on top of me and like I'm just not used to it. And I don't know how I feel about it, you know?
I
Well,
mean, again, I would emphasize that it's just a matter of getting used to it. I feel like that just opens a new dimension of gameplay that yes, it's definitely jarring to begin with. I mean, I shouldn't be one to talk. I actually haven't played in quite a while myself, but it's more like the way I see it is it's something that, I think we can eventually acclimate to and start to figure out strategies against given
Yeah,
the time. But I hear
I'm
you.
sure
I hear you.
I'm sure we can. I guess it's just because there have been games that have come out that people want to play now besides Fortnite and then like coming back
right.
to it's a little daunting when you used to wreck shit and then you come back and you're an actual potato. So,
Yeah, I mean that happens. That
yeah.
happens. But I mean, as far as something like the glider, the redeploying of the glider, I mean, if you do it, you leave yourself very vulnerable. So I guess
You
that's
do.
really where the balance aspect of it comes in. And if you see someone gliding off of a mountain straight at you, I mean,
You can
they're
also leave.
they're gift wrapping themselves to you because you know where they're going to land pretty much,
Mhm.
and you can track them all the way down and maybe even kill them before they land. But
Yeah, you're right. I'm just trash.
I
I'm just
have
gonna leave it
noticed
at that.
though that the game's a little more difficult now than it's been in
Yes.
in previous
Agree.
seasons. And
Yes.
you know
Agree.
what? It is what it is.
Yeah.
We'll make do.
When
We'll make
when
do.
is this wave gonna crash? Or is
The
it just
wave?
meaning like just with the all these big events happening, right? Like the cube thing was like a huge deal. Before that was like the rocket exploding. Like, do you think they
I
could
mean,
keep it up with this
That's
like level
Fortnite's
of
thing.
hype? That's what I mean. But do you think that like this is gonna be like, are we gonna continue to like have these big events and be like excited and surprised by them, or are we gonna just
I
expect
mean,
it?
hmm.
I don't know.
Have to think about it.
There will be a game that will dethrone it
Yeah, there has to be. There has to
at
be.
some point. I don't know
Do you
what
think
it's
it'll
gonna
be another
be.
battle royale? Do you think battle royale is gonna still, Because I feel like if you talk battle royale, people are mostly talking about Fortnite,
Mm,
or they'll probably be talking about Blackout.
Yeah,
But at the
so
same
so,
time, it
so
really depends on who you ask.
that's what I was thinking. Really, PUBG has fallen off the map,
Uh huh.
and any other battle royale game that's come out really hasn't been able to hold a candle to what Fortnite is.
Mhm.
Blackout probably being the closest thing to it, since it comes from one of the other biggest game franchises ever.
Mhm.
So there's that. But I mean, who knows? I mean, people are gonna get bored of battle royale eventually. It's
Yeah.
it's gotta happen.
You would
I
hope so,
wonder I
anyway.
wonder if Rockstar is being so quiet about Red Dead Online because it's just gonna be completely mind-blowing like the actual game. You know what I mean?
When is that happening again?
They said there's gonna be some sort of beta test of it in November, and we're in November, so it should be sometime soon. But they've said nothing about it except that it exists and that it's coming in November. Like that's all they've said about it.
Well, you played a lot of GTA 5 online, right?
Yes.
Do you think it's going to be I haven't played any of the online for that, but do
Uh-huh.
you think it's going to be something similar to that, or do you think they're going to go like cuz obviously Red Dead 2 is like really big success and very ambitious. Do you think they're going to go a different direction, or do you think they're going to do
N-
something
no. From what they have like said, which is very little, is that it's going to be a similar environment But that's pretty much all they've said to GTA Online. But there's also like a bunch of other stuff they're adding, and it's been data mined, and they found some stuff like there are going to be properties that you can buy, which is the same thing as GTA. And different carriages and stuff you can buy, which is the same thing as GTA. But GTA Online was also huge when it came out, so and it's still huge. So is it going to have the power? Is it going to be different enough than GTA Online and like as innovative as Red Dead actually was, just in its own single player experience? Is the online going to do like a similar thing to the multiplayer experience? That's what I'm very interested to see, because they're being too quiet right now about all that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Rockstar's being elusive, but I'm
Yeah.
excited just to see what it's like, because I think I probably will cave and buy Red Dead just because,
Do
like,
it.
I don't know, like, how can you not? How can you avoid that thing? At least right now,
Yeah.
I
I
bought
don't.
GTA 5 and I liked it, so I'll probably end up
Yeah.
buying this.
GTA 5 was fun. And the multiplayer was a lot of fun, especially earlier on. Later on, it started to get weird because they like put in flying cars and like just
They-
like
They went off the deep end.
they really went off the deep end, dude. Like races in the sky on like neon tracks above a city. Like none of this would actually happen, but it was fun. Like, and they had car darts where you literally just like jump your car off a thing and you have a parachute and then you drop onto it like a bullseye and hope that you get in the middle, and you could like, it was fun, but it's weird. Like they really went off the deep end with that game. But I think they're going to do something similar with Red Dead, where it's like they dropped the single player by itself. People love that game for what it is. And then once they know that people have had time to play that, they're going to throw in the online. It's going to be just as crazy, but with heists actually in the game in the beginning. Because
Train heists.
Yes,
Ooh.
dude. Oh my God. You guys need to buy that game so we can do train heists. Please.
Listen, I have a bunch of time off from work next week, and I might
Let's
just cave and buy
go.
it.
It like
And
really upsets me you guys haven't played it because it's so fucking good.
I just don't like paying full price for games that I know I'll eventually stop playing.
I mean,
You might have to wait a pretty long time.
yeah. I mean,
we'll see.
GTA Online, GTA was still selling for full price like this year.
You guys might
Wait,
be able
really?
to convince me at
pretty
some
sure.
point.
It dropped to $40. It might have been like a year ago, but it was selling for $60 for a very long time. They would have sales here and there, but it was for $60 for a while.
A game that released on the PS3 and Xbox.
Yeah, which is like what? Like
Price.
5 years old at this point?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's
I
insane.
didn't think it was that old.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see about that.
Do you think it'll come out on the Switch at some point?
The Switch?
It won't fit
Yeah,
on the Switch.
yeah,
It
right.
won't fit on the Switch.
Yeah, right.
So then
Unless you want to see really gimped horses.
In what year
God.
do you think it'll be ported to?
so that begs the question: do you just not trust AAA games on the Switch?
I trust
I
it.
mean, when you say AAA,
Kind
are you
of.
talking like first party or are you talking ports?
I'm talking ports.
Well, Diablo just released on Switch. I would call that a AAA game, and apparently it's really good. Like the performance is good on it, so I don't think that AAA games are doomed on the Switch. I mean,
think it
and
dep-
also like sorry, Rob. Like
No.
Doom
Finish your thought. Finish your thought. Go
Doom
for
and
it.
Wolfenstein and stuff were some of the earlier games to be ported to Switch. And sorry to bring it back up again, but Skyrim also.
Yes.
The ever-present Skyrim was also. I think those are the ones that I can remember. I'm sure there's.
I almost bought it on Switch. But then I was like, nah, I've already bought Skyrim 3 times.
Oh, yeah, I was
No way I'm paying
I
for
was
it
tempted.
again.
But what's one more time?
Yeah, but portability though.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. I don't play my Switch portable enough to really like. I'd be trying to play Skyrim on my Switch and then putting on the TV and seeing how absolute ass it plays on that, and having like how beautiful it plays on my PC would just like hurt my feelings that I spent 6. It would really hit. It would hit me in, yeah,
All the wrong places.
all the wrong
No, I
places.
agree. I mean, shoot, lost the thought.
Come on, Mark.
It
Come on, Rob.
happens.
I mean, Mark.
That
Safe
was me.
would say.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, I've been looking more at the Pokemon game now for the
Ooh.
Switch. You know what?
That's
I'm
coming out real
excited
soon.
for it. I don't care. I'm gonna play it. It's gonna be fun. It's Pokemon.
Listen,
I saw the last trailer that Nintendo released for it, and they introduced
the
the
Elite Four.
original. Yes, and red, and blue, and green. And I'm like, you know what? This is actually really cool and really exciting. And I also didn't take into account when we were discussing it previously about how with with talking about remakes and having those on this console,
Mm-hmm.
like you're not taking into account like the cutscenes and just the way the game is directed to show off all of these special moments, which is something you just couldn't do back when the original red, blue, and yellow came out.
Mm-hmm.
So you're also still paying into getting a game that shows off that tries to
Visually,
show off,
that looks much
yeah.
better than any of the other ones. And I know I've
You
been
know what
I've been
I'm
negative on it in the past because I think $60 is a bit much for the first generation story again. But like Chris said, it's Pokemon. I love Pokemon. I'm
You'll
gonna be
still eat
playing
it up.
Pokemon. I
yeah.
bought a DS and a 3DS just to play Pokemon. So I don't see why I wouldn't spend $60 to play Pokemon.
Was I there when you bought that purple 3DS
You were.
simply because you
You
wanted to buy it for Pokemon?
Yep. I
Dude.
bought it for Pokemon
Oh,
X and Y.
oh my
And I
god.
bought X
Dude.
with you, and I never played it.
X is
Okay.
a good game. I've bought like 3 DSs just to play Pokemon, and then sold all 3 of them back after I finished the Pokemon game. Like I've
Oh,
done
really?
that. I've
Wow.
done that 3 times because there's nothing else I want to play on the DS except for Pokemon. And then I played the bejesus out of it, and then I'm just like, well, I don't need this anymore. So I sell that and the game
Off
back
the
to
wayside.
GameStop or wherever so that I can spend it on some other stupid thing.
Do you ever regret that though? Have you ever looked at the resale prices for like some of the older DS games,
I
like Pokemon
try
Heart Soul and
I
Heart
try
Gold and Soul
not
Silver?
to. Oh, like how much they
Yeah,
sell for at the shop?
yeah. Even
Yeah.
used those things, Heart
Yeah.
Gold and Soul
Cheaper
Silver
now than when
sell
they
for
were
a
new.
Dude,
lot of.
Soul Silver is more expensive than it was when it came out.
Like that.
Yeah,
That's insane.
Isn't that
it's
wild?
nuts. It's in,
It's like $50 at the shop when you got it for 40 when it came out.
I
Like,
mean,
Yep.
wild.
like I think Soul Silver, Heart Gold are the best remakes that they've come out with yet because there was
Mhm.
just so much. Like the game already had so much to do in it, and then they added a lot of extra stuff, and it was fucking good.
It's like 2
It was
games in
great.
one plus. And you can
Yeah,
catch so many legendaries. So many legendaries in that
And
game.
just the
So,
nature of it being the remake of Gen 2, you technically have 2 regions to explore, and
yeah.
no other game offers you that up to this day. For 20 something years, we're talking about this, and Gen 2 or any of its remakes are the only generation where you get to explore 2 regions.
Dude,
which
it's
in and of
amazing.
itself is ridiculous because the next mainline game on the Switch should add multiple regions into it, but that's a
They
topic
won't.
for a later discussion, maybe.
They
Yeah.
won't.
I just remember the first time I played Silver and like I beat the Elite Four. I was like, oh, this is like that was a great game. And they're like, oh yeah, go to the other place now. I was like, what?
There's
Huh?
another place.
What? So I got
We-
over and they're like, yeah, now do these 8 gym badges. And I was like, ah, ah, ah. I wasn't used to that feeling in a Pokemon game. I thought it was just the same strategy every single time. Beat the Elite Four, get a Gyarados, teach it Thunder Shock, Fire Blast, and all those fucking moves, and then just mow through everybody. But no, there's 4 other people.
I don't think any other Pokemon game has ever subverted expectations like that, ever since.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that's fair to say.
I'm
pretty
excited
sure-
for and let's go to hear the new versions of the music.
Yes, that's something I wasn't thinking about, but
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
gonna
I
be
love
that's
all
gonna
those
be
old
nice.
Yo,
town
I'm gonna
themes,
enjoy the
holy
remixes
shit.
of all the Gen 1 music. I mean, simply just out of nostalgia, but I'm very much looking forward to exactly what they can hit us with. I'm gonna be very pleased.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I think it's gonna be good. I was feeling some type of way, but now I'm feeling some the best way. I'm actually
Some
Like,
other type of way.
Fine. You don't have to agree. You don't have to get. You don't have to agree with the whole. Hey, it's really easy to catch Pokemon in the wild now. But if you take into account just the presentation and what it, what it can give us, with the music and all the different characters to me, I think it's definitely going to be a worthwhile experience. So I'm not. I'm not at all miffed going into this when I'm going to start playing this, which
Well,
is actually going to be coming out this week, isn't it? Next week.
Next
week.
16th, I think.
Oh,
Question?
perfect. I mean, there's so many
Is
good
that when
things
you're
to
off?
play. Yeah. So
What a story, Mark.
Starting next Thursday, so I think that's the 15th or 16th, and then I have like a week and a half off. So I'm hype.
Oh wait! You have off for the Thanksgiving week lit.
Yeah, well, I only
So
have
do I.
Thursday and Friday.
So do
but
I.
took a bunch of days off leading up to it.
Games, let's go. Yo, is there a mystery? Is there a wonder trade in this game?
Ooh,
I
hope
would
so.
hope that. I would hope there'd be something like that. I would expect there to be. There has been for I think most games, if I recall correctly.
Yo, shout out to all those
Mystery-
people that go into Wonder Trade and put really good Pokemon on, and shout out to them taking my like fucking
Weedles.
Rattata's and,
Weedle. Yeah.
and like I get back a fucking Celebi. I'm like, lit.
Yeah.
This is excellent.
That's great, dude. I
Yeah.
should have done more of that.
Wonder
certainly
trading
agree.
is like the best form of gambling because like,
you don't lose.
thing-
You don't
Yeah,
lose actual
exactly.
money.
because even
Yeah.
if you
Just
get
give
like,
away all your shit.
bad shit back, you just retrade it, or if you get a bunch of good shit back, you just go catch 5 more,
Yeah.
6 more, and then just
Yeah.
trade them.
Yeah, because there's always those people who are like, yeah, I don't need this, and I'm like, well, okay, I'll take it and just take this other shitty thing, because you know what, they'll eventually get something good too, and you don't feel that bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's fine.
They just got to keep repackaging what they don't like, and eventually they'll find something for their own.
Yeah,
Everybody
yeah.
wins if you play the game long enough. Quite literally.
As soon as I got Wonder Trade in the last game, I got all the starters. Like I just went into Wonder Trade and traded until I get, and it was pretty baller. So I hope it's back in the next game. We will see.
Yeah, same.
We don't have that long to wait after all. I really hope that there's some sort of surprise that none of like that we haven't been shown yet, because it'd be nice if they hid something like that. Because if you again, I keep coming back to Gen 2, but if you think about Gen 2, no one ever really mentioned, in any of the. Actually, did that game even have trailers at the time? I don't know. I was too young to even remember.
I don't.
Trailer? I have no idea.
People just bought Pokemon games to play them, didn't they? They didn't even care about trailers or promotion or anything like that.
I don't remember ever seeing a but
Well, there were like
No
I'm
one
sure
ever
there
really
were.
talked.
there was
but
like
no one ever
during
really-
that time. There had to have been trailers for the game.
Yeah.
Just that I would have noticed. But the thing is, like, nobody would have ever promoted the fact that you could visit the first town or like the first region again. At least not pre-release.
Yeah.
Again, I'm probably comparing two completely different times. So I guess they're not relativistic. But
I don't know. I'm not sure.
it is just a thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Right. I wanna pivot real
Mhm.
quick because I just want to get your guys' advice on something because I've been really on the fence lately about because I have to re-up my PS Plus subscription.
Mhm.
One because I need to get Yakuza Kiwami because that's the free game and I'm so hyped to play that thing. But also because I want to get and if I'm wrong on this, let me know. But I think you get a free name change now when you have PSN, right? Is that right?
I mean, I don't know if
I
it's
don't know if you have
live
to
yet.
pay.
I don't
Yeah,
know
I
if
don't-
it's live yet. I don't think it's live yet. I do know that the beta for this whole PSN name changing thing happened earlier this month. Or was it this month?
Well, what do you mean by the
October.
beta?
It was
Like,
recently.
what does the beta entail?
I don't know. They just I guess they get the chance to do it, but the reviews have been kind of just like, meh. And
'Cause-
they've kind of released the terms on if you do it, and it's if we delete all your shit, oh well,
Not our
that's
fault.
essentially
Yeah.
what they say in
Yeah.
the terms. If that happens, then you're fucked. So I don't
Yeah.
know. Don't do it. Don't do it in the first week, and just make sure no one's dying, and then I guess
Make
it's
sure no
safe.
one's dying.
I
That's
guess
very
it's safe
responsible.
after that.
Yeah, you're right, and I should do.
I mean,
that. But I've
also,
just been
like-
now that it's possible, I'm I need to do this like right
The
The
away.
thing is, like,
there
there's
any
so many
ideas?
strings. There are so many strings attached. So I was looking at an IGN article about this earlier, and it's just sort of like, they're talking about like the limitations, like games released after April 1st, or are only the games released after April 1st that are the ones that are guaranteed to work with the name change. Otherwise, certain games may not work with it.
Well, that,
Yeah.
that that just seems like such a terrible way to bring something that people have been wanting for literally since the PS3 came out.
Agree.
Why not try and develop it correctly so that you don't, destroy everyone's save files.
Because
Yeah.
Sony's weird, bro.
They
I mean, that was that's their problem. I mean, they didn't account for this when they first, when PSN did not account for, being able to change names, and therefore their infrastructure just doesn't know how to deal with it, and
The
that's why they're
conspiracy
talking about
theorist in me
inconsistencies.
is like this is an op by Konami to delete PT off of everyone's
Oh
It's
my
like that scare.
God.
It's like that scare that happened earlier this week where people thought that they pushed an update to PT that would kill the game. Did anyone read about this?
wow.
No,
No.
but that's
Yeah.
terrifying.
People thought that there was there was an update to PT that was killing the game. I think it was later debunked, but people were really scared for a hot minute last week
That's my prize
during
possession.
Halloween. It was on Halloween, actually.
Really,
That was
That's
probably
really
someone's.
funny, actually.
That's definitely spooky.
It's kind of like, did you see what happened with 76? The glitch they had where like the game would delete itself.
Delete itself if you
yeah.
click the
Like,
button.
I
And they
found
told.
that. Oh my God,
Go ahead.
I think that's the funniest shit ever. Like for a Bethesda game, that's so perfect. So perfect.
That's very
It's so
Bethesda, though.
glitchy, it doesn't want you to play it. So it deletes itself. It's like,
It kills
nah,
itself.
nah, you don't
It's
even
like,
want to
no,
do this,
don't
bro.
play me.
You don't want to do it. You don't want to do it. Just I got this. Nope, deleted. And it's gone on its own.
It's almost like it knows.
It has a mind of its own.
It knows.
I think I saw something that apparently they like put out a little like message to everyone with the clients like don't click on any buttons.
Yeah.
Yep. They were tweeting that out. It's like, if
Yeah.
you have it, don't click anything. I'm like,
But the thing is, now there's a whole conspiracy theory about it because there are a lot of people reporting that they did not touch the game, they didn't load up the server or anything or the client, and it still deleted itself. So there's like a whole
that's
conspiracy
great.
theory that like there was something really wrong. They needed to like I don't know, but it's just so Bethesda.
It sounds like them. Again, it's hilarious. You're right. That's just totally
So
hilarious.
broken it deletes. But hopefully the PSN change is not that broken and they can fix it.
Yeah.
But Sony's
and see.
weird with this kind of stuff though, because it's something they really don't want to do. So they're gonna make it such a pain, just like how they didn't want to do crossplay and they were such
Oh,
a pain
yeah.
about it.
sure.
And they were just so clammed up on that for how long? Even 2 months?
It
a long
was
time.
it was a decent amount of time.
Yeah. And then
Before they
studios were
finally-
calling them out and were like, you need to do this because we're just not gonna make games for your system. And then like, okay, fine.
It took them that much. Yeah.
We'll do it, but we're not happy about it. So they make it that you might delete your shit if you change your name. So don't fucking do it, okay? Is essentially what they're saying. But
Yes, on that. Yeah.
do you think I've been thinking about this a lot recently because of this whole name change stuff and how they've been so resistant to kind of do what the public wants them to do with their system. Do you think Sony is going to take the same route that Xbox did while like unveiling their new consoles and be a little bit too cocky and just like really mess a lot of stuff up for themselves?
I mean,
So like when Xbox announced that you're not allowed to share games, like that kind of thing, where they were
Yeah,
thinking
and
too
that
far
you
into the future.
and you always need to be online.
Right.
And
do you
like
think what you're asking is, do you think Sony will do something similar? I'd have to think about that.
I think
Because-
that's definitely possible. I think it goes back and forth every generation.
yeah.
Yeah, but you would expect them to have learned. We're like 10
Well-
10 years out from this. It's
You know
just
how
like,
many
keep talking
you know how many
about it.
people I've said, you know what they probably should have learned in my lifetime.
Rob, they should have they should have learned that letting people change their name was a good thing 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And they just got around to it now. So I'll see you in 2028.
Oh, gee, you're not wrong. You're not wrong though. Oh man. Okay, who am I kidding? Yeah, Sony's
I
probably
just
gonna do
hope
something stupid.
I hope they don't though. Like they're really in a good spot right
Yeah.
now.
This is probably the first time since like I don't know, maybe ever that they've been in the driver's seat in the, so-called console war.
Yeah. But like Microsoft just swung and missed on it so hard during that E3 conference. And I just remember like Sony being all about like they were just on stage saying, "Oh, you don't have to be online to play and you don't need live to play Netflix and like all
Yeah,
this stuff." And the crowd was going insane.
They were
berserk.
nuts. I remember that. That was hilarious.
Insane. Oh my
And all
god.
the headlines were
Like,
just
here's how you can share a
Sony
game.
won E3.
Yeah. But Sony just stayed out of its own way, basically.
Yeah.
They stayed in their own lane now.
Yeah.
But I feel like they're not going to do that this time. I'm afraid.
Well, we'll
either
see
that
because
or
they're
the
riding a
war.
high.
Sorry, go ahead, Mark.
I was
Yeah, go
just
ahead,
gonna
Mark.
do that. They're riding the high. So
Yes.
so now it's like, I mean, if they're smart, I mean, they just caved on cross-platform play on Fortnite. Now maybe now it's time to lean into that a little more, take some of that momentum, and be like, all right, we know we were late to it, but let's kick it up a notch.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, that's really what I was going to follow up on. I was going to say this cool console war might not even be a thing if every single console decides to lean in on the concept of cross-platform. Xbox
Mhm.
and Nintendo Switch are already on that with, Minecraft, or Rocket League. Look at Rocket League, being
Mhm.
able to play with each other. If Sony bends into that, we don't really need much of a console war anymore, do
I
we?
mean, there
I
really shouldn't
Except for
even be a
exclusives.
console war anymore because everything
Except
is
for
pretty
exclusives.
much as powerful as each other. The Switch is probably the least powerful of current consoles, but
yeah.
everything can pretty much run anything. I mean, yeah, having console exclusives is really where, the only
I
difference
mean,
will lie.
where
But
else are you going to play Kingdom Hearts?
well, isn't Kingdom Hearts 3 coming to the Xbone?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
So
is.
Yeah, that's true.
It is.
But the rest of the franchise don't.
That's true.
You
I
get-
don't know. I think there's always going to be a place for a console war because if they're not fighting over like exclusives or they're not fighting over who you can play with because now there's crossplay, um, they're just gonna fight over specs. People still fight over specs now. Like it's just gonna
I
be
mean,
like, oh, the
It's
Xbox
true.
One X is a little bit like more powerful. It's like, all right,
yeah.
cool, you're right. But the base PS4 was more powerful than the Xbox. So that's I don't know. They're gonna fight over specs, which I think is good for us as console gamers because it's gonna force them to want to make their console anyway to outbeat the rest of the competition. So like
right, you'll get
Yeah.
stagnation otherwise. Agreed.
yeah, and I mean you guys play PC, so like fuck you guys. And like I have a PC, but it's way outdated. But
It's
like
not outdated, Chris.
it's pretty
not.
outdated. What's it? It's like an
It'll
i5 5500.
6600. It's got a
No.
6600K and a full. No,
Yeah.
you're the same gen that I
Yeah.
am. You just have a
Yeah.
slightly lower card, but it's still powerful enough to do
Chris, I'm
1080p.
sure it's fine, bro.
Yeah. I
Sure
mean, it's
Look.
probably it's fine for playing Skyrim, which is what I built it to play on Ultra. That's what I built it to play, and that's what it will play, and that's what it pretty much only plays.
I guarantee you it can play much better. It can play games and still be fine. It could probably play Fortnite and still be fine, I bet you if you were to try it, it would work out just fine.
maybe,
Just plug your
but
controller in if you really care.
nah, I don't. But just I don't know. I think it could take the console war in an interesting direction. But and all of the studios have final dev kits. So consoles are coming soon.
yeah.
Just have to wait and see on that one.
Maybe not next year.
I was gonna say, yeah, don't get your hopes up for a very close, return on that right away. But
Well, if you look at the timeline, dev kits went out a few months ago, like final dev kits for the console went out a few months ago, and people are comparing the timeline to pretty much the exact like for 2019, the console should come out that year compared to like the rest of the years, the timeline that it's been since they got the final dev kits to when the games actually came out for the system. So there are a lot of people saying it could be 2019. like holiday 2019, and I'd be about that 100%.
Hey, whatever. Yeah. If they do, if they do, well, we just have to hope that they've got a stellar game line planned for it. But again, I don't want to think too far into the future. I hold back on speculation
Let's
that
just
far
enjoy the now, bro.
Yeah, enjoy the Fortnite high while it's still at its
yeah.
high.
Let's enjoy the Fortnite high and the games we've been playing recently.
Yeah.
That's what we should do.
And
I'm just
games
gonna
that
keep-
we're
I'm
playing.
gonna keep speculation. It's fine.
You guys get it? You guys purchase anything recently?
Let me
Anything
no
new on your
question mark.
No?
question mark.
I don't think so. I'm planning on buying stuff come Black Friday, but I don't think I've bought anything recently.
I mean, obviously not counting what's coming out next week.
right, because I didn't
you
buy
know,
it yet.
I think the last thing I bought was Dragon Quest 11. I haven't put a lot of time into that yet. But yeah, I mean, there are
guess
plenty of
I'm the only
games.
one.
But Mark with the C, you certainly have your way of, showcasing the best of Nintendo's indies after all.
I was on the eShop, and there's some games on Switch that are under $1.
Wait,
Really?
what? Really?
Are
$100?
they anything of note?
Oh no!
I highly doubt it. Is it something like a
the-
duck counter game or something?
There's like super oversaturated, but no, I just like thought it was interesting. I didn't realize that Nintendo is willing to host games that they're not even selling for a full dollar, but they are, which I think is pretty cool.
I wonder if they sell well. Do you think they get their return on investment? I don't know. It's just a random thought. It's just sort of like you're selling them on this marketplace. You must have gone through a lot of loopholes, or not loopholes, but lots of difficulties just to get your game onto the eShop. Do you think they profit off of that at all? Selling at such a low price.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Interesting.
who knows?
Interesting point.
Yeah. Well, I do want to mention real quickly that I bought Into the Breach, and I really like it. But if I start talking about it, I'm gonna go on forever. And I think we're just about at time. So
Yeah.
I'll spare you guys the long-winded.
And anyone have
explanation.
final thoughts?
That might be for next week.
Final thoughts. Yeah.
All right.
Watch out for
That's
Rob.
a good final thought.
I
Yeah.
think that'll do it.
I have one. I have one.
Hey, final thought.
I beat Dead Cells last
Nice.
week.
Can we get an
Wait.
hour count, please?
Yeah, do you have an hour count on that?
My hour count was 100, at least 100 hours, somewhere between 100 and 105, based on my counter on my Switch. But here's the thing. Here's the kicker to this, because I finished a run finally after 100 hours, and so what happens is you unlock a new item, right, after you kill the final boss, and I think it's called a stem cell. And it's really
Stem
just
cell,
a.
wonderful.
That sounds controversial.
It's actually quite the opposite, but it's an item that modifies the game in a certain way if you activate it, and it's basically what activates the hard mode.
Oh man, are you gonna
Oh.
dive into
And
that at all?
Oh my
there's
God.
well, I did one run of it, and I actually got pretty far, but it is hard. But the thing
And
is,
before
there's-
another 100
it's
hours.
like in the little main area, it's in this like tube thing, and there's definitely spots for like 5 more of them, which
Oh,
means
no.
there's like a
Oh my
lot more
God, it's
games.
prestige mode all over again.
Yeah, and I don't think I'm gonna do it, but goddamn.
Are you sure?
Well,
Are you sure about that?
Definitely report back next week to see
Yeah.
if you get any further.
Yeah.
But if that's it, I think that'll do it for us this time on the Memory Slot A podcast.
Yeah.
Now,
yeah,
now
man.
saving. Don't turn
Oh,
off the
yeah.
power.
Beep boop beep.